It's Mbulelo Hlobo. I'm the acting general manager for supply chain at our state-owned company, which is called Broadband and Frago. It's under the Ministry of Department of Telecoms and Postal Services, under the leadership of Minister Siyabonga Cwele. We currently working on a massive rollout project in the rural communities, which is called SA Connect. In total, on phase one, we are connecting 6,135 sites across 8 districts in the country. We've partnered with companies like your MTN, your Telkom, your Altec Radio, and a number of SMME companies that are doing the rollout. We are proud of this project because it's now reaching the people in the rural areas to be able to connect to the internet and be able to access and have easy connection wherever they are. They don't have to travel to towns to do those e-commerce transactions. They can do it freely at home. We are connecting the schools, we are connecting the health facilities like your clinics and the public hospitals. This is the project that the government has been rolling out, and they will be also going for a phase 2 SA Connect, which will be additional 44,000 government facilities, which we will be doing to connect our people in the country. When we ran our procurement process, we managed to get a panel of 12 companies to do the rollout. On that 12 companies, 50% of those companies are SMMEs. And what we also like is that in the total number of 6,135 sites, 67% of that allocation is on SMMEs. Now with this project, SMMEs are playing a leading role. They are not being led by the big companies, are leading the project, which is a huge achievement for us. This is a mandate we've been given by the Department of Telecoms and Postal Services to empower SMMEs participation, including women and youth. I think on the first phase, we had a huge success in achieving 67% of SMME participation on this SA Connect phase 1. MTN, as I said, it's one of our contractors. They are our implementers. They are our access network providers who are going to provide layer 2 services and layer 3 services, the internet connectivity. They are playing a huge role in this project, like the like of Telcoms and Altec and companies like your 3H Communication and Maredi and Kalela. But we are proud to have companies like Telkom and MTN because are huge stakeholders who are leading the industry, and their participation is welcome, especially when it's going to reach our people who are staying in the underserviced areas. Now, MTN's participation is very much welcome, and we greatly appreciate it. The greatest benefit of this project is that data cost will come down. We're looking at the 10 megabits per second at a very low cost. Kids or people that are in the townships, in the rural areas, when they do the connectivity, they should get data at a very, very much low cost. And with these projects, we should be able to lower the cost. That's our mandate. That's the reason why Broadband and Frago is in the space, is to lower the cost of connectivity. From the BBI point of view, I know we're giving 10 megabits per second at about 1,700 rand. We're hoping in the next couple of years, with other players in the market, we need to reduce those costs way up to close to 400 rands per 10 megabits per second. We're hoping the cost needs to come down. We definitely show that with the models that these ICT companies are putting in, the cost must come down. And everyone at least is understanding that for people to connect, because we're working with people who some of them are not well off, the cost needs to come down. But with Broadband and Frago intervention, I hope one day people don't have to pay anything to access internet.
We really do want to set up Ghana as the IT hub in the West African sub-region. And so we're very keen on cybersecurity, training, building the capacity so that we can also help others deal with this scourge. We're interested in building a software and applications industry around our young tech entrepreneurs in the region, and so we're investing in that, setting up technology parks around the country to be able to assist our young people to do that. we're also interested in connecting the whole country within the shortest possible time. Google has just set up an artificial intelligence lab, which will be operational by the end of October there. So we want to take the lead in the emerging technologies in this area as well. The applications of blockchain, IoT, and AI, and where we can take it from there in transport, in education, in industry, you name it. The possibilities are endless, but we do need to also not get ahead of ourselves. So we need to build the capacity in our own people to be able to manage this infrastructure that we're putting in place, so we don't always have to import the human assistance that we need in this area. So capacity building is key, and we think that if we get the right human resources, affordable internet, provide them with conducive working spaces and working environment, our young people can innovate and can help transform the continent and leapfrog development. Aggressively rolling out rural telephony initiatives, and the government is taking on the cost of setting up this infrastructure with partners in the private sector. And because the cost of setting up this infrastructure is about 60% less than traditional solutions, they can provide the services to the rural areas at cheaper cost than they would in the urban areas. In the schools, we're setting up this infrastructure and providing them with free internet so they can browse and use it to learn. We think that if we do that, over time, they would acquire a taste for it and will be prepared to even pay for it themselves once they can afford it. We're working with the Alliance for Affordable Internet to also reduce internet and data costs by half. So these are all initiatives that we're working on, and that includes infrastructure sharing amongst the operators as well. And hopefully we'll get there very soon.
I'm the chairperson of the committee that's been tasked with dealing with the cost of data in South Africa. Indeed, it's true that we have a very high data cost in South Africa, and it's precisely because of this reason that the council took a decision to have a program that addresses all of this. The program is into 3 phases: short-term phases, medium phases, and long-term phases. The short-term phase had to do with data expiry rules, which we made a number of concessions within the regulations to ensure, for one, that data does not expire, and also that you're able to roll over data to the next billing period. The second one had to do with defining precisely markets that should be regulated, and the data market has been identified as being one of those markets, and that then fits into a long-term process, which is what we currently working on. The idea is to follow what the law tells us to do, but at the same time to expedite the process in such a way that consumers in general, especially the SMMEs and people from poor backgrounds, are able to realize the results of lowered cost of data. So we are very procedural in how we do it because of the way that the law dictates that we should do it. However, we have taken upon ourselves to expedite the processes such that on one hand we balance procedural issues, and on the other hand consumers and SMMEs are able to realize the results of our work. And in terms of the SMMEs, we can't specifically do special concessions because it is something they are seen as part of the bigger, broader consumer base. And what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And I can identify with the difficulty because of their size and because of the high startup costs and because of the challenges that are specifically unique to the environment that you would want to have a specific concession. But the one thing that we can do is to ensure that we are able to address the root cause of the cost of data so that, like the rest of the South African population and the South African community, they can benefit from it. Already started with the process. We published in June the end user subscriber charter rules, the ones that I spoke about earlier on, which were precisely aimed to make sure that data doesn't expire, and also that you're able to roll over data, and also that you are able to monitor your usage of data. So the regulations were promulgated. Unfortunately, we've hit a snag with operators having taken us to court, but hopefully we're looking for that process to consolidate. So the short-term measure that we had intended was supposed to have kicked in already. The medium-term initiative has already been completed. So right now the focus of ICASA is on data pricing. We have started an inquiry which will deal specifically around the specific cost of data, the price of data. So partially we'd already started the process. Consumers should have started feeling the benefit. However, because of our procedural nature, we've been taken to court and the issue is now stuck in court. But hopefully that issue will be resolved soon so that by the time we deal with pricing issues, at least consumers are able to see the immediate benefit of and get real value from the data that they purchased.
Students said data must fall. I'm also saying data must fall because for small and medium enterprises, the price is very important. And remember that small and medium enterprises, particularly small, are people that need to try and save as much as possible in order for them to grow their businesses. But the first and most important issue is access, really. We can say data must fall, we can say all those things, but are people able to access? So being part of a conference like this clearly speaks to us coming here to get ideas, to share ideas, and to say what is it that we can do to make sure that we create a conducive environment for small and medium enterprises in the ICT sector. It's about access mostly, but it's about also infrastructure. And I think that opportunities like this being here give South Africa as a country an opportunity to listen to how others have been doing it, because this is an international conference, and therefore South Africans need to learn, but there's a lot that we can share also as South Africa. And I like the fact that you are here, you're a small business yourself, you're doing everything yourself, so it means technology, you're stepping into the technology, we are able to do so many things in one. That means you're saving the time, you're saving the money, you're saving quite a lot. So my being here as a Minister of Small Business Development, I've come here to also speak about the challenges that are faced by small and medium enterprises in as far as the ICT sector is concerned. I can't even talk about the women in rural areas, the men in rural areas, and the fact that we need to introduce the skills, because you can't talk about ICT without ensuring that people have the necessary skills. So those I can sum up to say that firstly, as government, we need to create a conducive environment for SMMEs. We need to make sure that there's access to opportunities. We want to also make sure that SMMEs do not struggle in doing their businesses. We must make it easy for them to do their business.